Okay, a wonderful afternoon to each and every one of us. I'm just thinking randomly, and I think it's nice I share it so that probably others can learn from it. Yeah, so that others can learn from it. To me, part of the reason why I feel that people don't get desired breakthrough is one good reason to pray. There's another reason to actually call on God as at when due, when necessary. Is very nice to always hear from God. Yeah, very, very nice and pray for breakthrough. But I feel that one of the reasons why people don't get the desired breakthrough, they are praying good and fine, but at the same time, the it's difficult for them to take some dangerous steps. When I mean dangerous step, it's difficult for them to uh, take some decision, and they are binded by that decision that no matter what comes their way, they are going to be pinned down to this decision. Yeah, you are praying for a particular job, you're praying for a particular breakthrough. It's good that you're praying for it, but at the same time, how well are you taking that decision? I don't know why this just have to come. I hardly do this in the afternoon. You all know when I'm doing my live stream, I do it in the evening and on Sundays majorly, but this just drops in my heart now, and I think it's nice for me to actually share this. Yeah, if you are praying, very good that you're praying. At the same time, they talked about walk. Yeah, you have to walk as you're praying. Learn to also walk when you're praying. It's good to pray, very fine, but you must walk to make sure that that prayer is actually reflecting in your life. That's why a lot of persons they are finding it difficult to get some needed breakthrough. Thank you, Ucheni. He said it's really difficult to take some decisions. Honestly, yeah, I know it's very, very difficult to take some steps, but you have to just find a place. You have to find a route. You have to find a direction for you to take this decision. It's very, very important to pray. That you have been praying, you have been killing all the enemies, all the witches and the wizards in your family, but you're not taking some steps. Those witches and wizards, they've carried all the enmity. They've they've suffered a lot. They are suffering for something they don't even know anything about. Probably the cause of the problem is you, and you, because you're not taking the step, you tend to just feel that the problem is from the witches and the wizardry. Another issue I would love to talk about is yes, Papa, thank you for that. Yeah, why taking decision? Remember, men that work with God, you have to look into that critically, and you have to also work with God. You have to be in line with God's calling, God purpose, and uh, you have to allow God direct you. Another issue I would love to also address. This might look somehow controversial, but I think it's good to address it. I think one of the major reasons why people in some churches or some religion, yeah, get the needed breakthrough is because of the religious leaders. Sorry to say, if you're a pastor here, or you're an imam, or anywhere you tend to be serving, religious leaders are one of the problems we're having, yeah, in getting some desired breakthrough. Because if I'm serving under you as a member and I am doing excellently well, in fact, everybody must not be a pastor. I'm doing excellently well. I pray, God answer, and among the pulpits they're happening. That doesn't automatically tie me to that particular place, and you don't want me to move forward. I'm just saying this, not that it just dropped in my heart, and I think probably it's meant for somebody to probably learn from or something, because you are serving in that church, you are serving in that mosque, and that you are wanting to make some bold step, probably get a job somewhere outside where you are currently, or get something that that will profit you, or that will portray God answering your prayers. You are trying to get it outside the vicinity of where you are currently, and the religious leader is telling you no. Let's wait on God until you get it within this environment where you are. The problem you're having is with that religious leaders. If you must succeed, then learn to break the gene, learn to break the yoke, learn to take some decision. Good, it's good to consult your religious leaders. It's very fine you do that, but at the same time, you need to do it with the right mindset, because these religious leaders sometimes they are not saying it with the mind of God, but they are just being sentimental about their own what they tend to lose. Oh, how will I just lose this vibrant member? How will I just lose this vibrant servant? How will I just lose this vibrant son, vibrant daughter? Your hair probably you know how to you sing very well. When you are singing, God will always come down when you are singing. I appreciate you for that, and I thank God for your life. But there are times if you want to take some a drastic decision, your religion leader might tell you, oh, why do you have to do this? Why not wait on God? Or let's go into the area of marriage. Now, probably you want to get married, and your marriage will take you off that particular environment of that particular church. And the religious leader is telling you, oh, why not just hold on and wait for somebody that will be living within the confine of this environment. I think that would be better for you and all that. This is the time you need to rise up and tell yourself, no, enough of all these things. Stand up and take the right decision, because that religious leader is not after your own success, but rather is after you as an individual, just to make sure that you are serving him, but not serving God that you ought to be serving. Because though you're serving God good and fine, but I keep hearing issues like once you leave this environment, you might not serve God the way you're supposed to serve God. Yes, I should use myself as a case study when discussing issues like this. When I'm talking about things like this, I'm talking about probably things that have happened to me as an individual. Some leaders tends to tie you down unnecessarily. I remember when I was thinking of traveling. Thank God for the pastor I had then. In fact, he was ready to release me at any point in time. He was ready to send me out, because he just told me, said, Tim, I know that wherever you are going to be doing very well for God wherever you are. By the grace of God, God is actually helping me. Just imagine me telling my pastor, I want to probably go for my master's. Thank God for that. Thank you very much. I want to go for my master's, and my pastor is telling me, oh, and we have been praying about it. We have been praying, and he's not telling me, oh no, it's not yet time. God is not approving it for you to go yet, and all that. That is excellently not too good. It's something that we need to look at. It's one area that we need to look at. Probably your hair, you have been thinking of taking some steps. Okay, let's assume the way ASU is on strike now. I can still, there are still some persons still in school. They are still in school. What are they doing in school? They are just there serving men of God. Instead of them to go home to go and learn something for their life, pastors are not giving you food in school. Pastors are not taking care of you in school, but you are just there serving them. You are just there in the name of, you are the papa of the church, you are the mama of the church. There are times you need to stand up and do what is right with your life, because this is your own life. If you fail tomorrow, those same pastors, they will laugh at you. Sorry to say, I'm not trying to be harsh on leaders or church leaders, but check the lives of some of those pastors' children. They are doing excellently well out there, but because of the fact that they feel, okay, you are a leader, they want to tie you in one particular place. Please, I think it's time for our young ones to stand up, because we want to see young people doing expert for God at every point in time. So it's time for you to rise up and do what you know it is right. I didn't think about this, like I didn't write it down. I just took a break from work, and I was just strolling down the road, and this thing dropped in my heart. I felt it's something good I should drop, and people should actually learn from it. Please don't allow anybody to dictate what you do with your destiny. Don't allow anybody to. People can always suggest, but it's your right to decide what to do with it. If you miss it at this very young age, then tomorrow those same pastors will they will say, oh, look at what becomes of this young boy. Look at what becomes of this a young lady. We have seen leaders who people are supposed to be leaders of tomorrow, people that are supposed to be great men and women of tomorrow, but their destinies is being hijacked just because they were not sensible enough to take decision for their destiny. It's time for young ones to arise and do what is right with their life. I see no reason why youth shouldn't take decision that will help them grow, whether spiritually, whether financially, whether maritally. It's time for each and every one of us to arise and do what is right. Youth, it's good to communicate with your spiritual leaders. It's good to tell your spiritual leaders your movement. But when you see that that spiritual leader is not encouraging your movement, is not, yes, there are times your spiritual leader sees that, okay, this movement is not of God, and it might lead to probably death, or it might lead to some dangerous act later. It's good for the spiritual leader to restrain you. That's why he or she is your spiritual head. It's good for he or she to restrain you from such movement. But for movement that you are very much convinced that this is of God, that this is God asking me to go. I remember there are times that when I was thinking of leaving, a lot of persons told me, Tim, I assure you, when you get to the UK, you are going to backslide. I told them, me, I'm going to backslide for what? Like, is it that I don't have my conviction? Like, I don't understand. So, but thank God for today, God is still helping me. Yeah, I know a lot of persons will say a lot of things. I remember when the first month I came in, and some person got to see my picture, they were like, oh, Timothy, you are not this, you are not that. But don't conclude when you have not done proper research about some persons. It's very wrong. That is one of the reasons why people tend to do things they ought not to do. People tend to conclude easily. Focus on your life. Focus on your destiny. Focus on yourself and leave others that are focusing on theirs alone. You don't look at people while you are running a race and you are looking sideways. That you tend to lose focus. Focus on your own life. Focus on your own destiny. And I think this might not be a message to everyone, but I think it's a message for someone. So please, and please, religious leaders tend to encourage your people to move forward. Thank God for such. There's one man I tend to always respect, Apostle Chibuzo, that is always sponsoring people to study abroad, always helping to rescue people. I think such a man's reward is enormous. Such person, in fact, today, I think, was it not 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw that his people that is always sending to Dubai for schooling, they've opened a branch of his church in Dubai. That is expansion. It will be something. Yeah, I know some leaders that almost didn't want me to make some move while I was growing up, but today they are glad that I made such move. They are not saying, oh, we didn't know that this move will lead you to this extent. So, you see, if just imagine I didn't make such move, maybe I would have still been where I am today. The reason why we begin to see spiritual reference, spiritual people that are just there, they don't do anything good with their spiritual life. They are spiritual, but they don't understand the tenets of spirituality. They are just there. They don't understand what spirituality is all about. They are just there, but they feel spirituality is mediocrity. The reason why we have such people is because of the spiritual leaders that they have. Spiritual leaders ought not to tie people down, but it's good you advise. It's good you tell them what they need to do. It's good you tell them what they ought to do and not what they need to do. You tell them, this is what I feel you should do. Then allow them to go and pray and decide what to do. Don't decide whom to marry for people. It's very wrong. I think I have to also address that. People, somebody is in your church and you think the only way you can tie the person that is just to look for one sister and get to that person, and that person is tied down already. No, I think it's wrong. It's time for religious leaders to do what is right. Let's allow youth to take decision for their life. People actually they are people that respect spiritual leaders. It's very nice. Yes, I respect spiritual leaders, but I tend to, when I'm respecting them, you tell me what to do. Okay, let me give this example. When I was thinking of leaving, I had a kind of I discussed with my pastor at a very tender period of time where I haven't told anybody about my plans, but I told my pastor, these are my plans. And He was like, Tim, I'm solidly behind you. I'll be backing you up in prayers, and any support you need, let me know. That is a man of God. I'm not just a man of God, a true man of God. He encouraged me all through. When I was weak, he was there to say, oh, Tim, don't worry, God is with you. He prayed and also assisted me in his own little way. So please and please, religious leaders, I think, is good. We need to allow people do what is right with their life. But when you see that what they want to do is sinful, good and fine, correct them. Correct them. It's very nice you do that. It's very, very important you do that. Not taking some bold steps. A few months ago, I saw a post by Dabla Papayos stating that if you are not convinced before leaving Nigeria and you want to come back to the UK, it's difficult probably to serve. I understand what he's trying to say, but we still have people and I applaud Mr. Emmanuel for his reply to that particular comment, because it's based on individuals have a way of doing their things. Yeah, there are some persons that weren't serving God when they were in Nigeria, but they got to a country like this, they are now serving God. I think people are literally naked, walking out just like that, but it's not enough reason why you should forget where you're coming from. If we are, well, at the same time, we still have people that were serving God fervently before leaving home, but getting here, they fell off their faith. So it is based on your conviction and based on your understanding about some of these things. So I'm not here to probably confuse you, but I'm here to just clarify some things so that we all will understand that the problem that probably we have with some persons is the idea of, my pastor is still telling me not to go. My pastor has not released me yet to go. You continue to wait for your pastor to release you, and you continue to be in one particular place. So it's time for you to stand up and do what is right. When you have the heart of God, you have the mind of God, your pastor is telling you what is right, you should know what my pastor is telling me is right. And at the same time, if what he's saying is just for his own self-centeredness, you should also understand that what this man is saying, what this woman is saying, is just because of his own self-centered nature. That is why it tends to say something like that. So I just want to quickly drop this so that we all will also understand. I hope we're having a wonderful day. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. I still remain your very own brother, Timothy Ikwohan, the CEO of Tim-Osa Media. See you again when there's something drops. Thank you and have a blessed day.